How you all doing, you beautiful lot? Welcome to another whiskey review with me, Whiskey Novice. This is review number 238. Thank you for joining me. I don't know what I was doing there. Yes, review number 238, 12-year-old Scottish single malts. That's what we're looking at. And it was going to come around eventually. The Cragganmore 12-year-old. Here we go. Speysider again. I'm not going to say deflated a wee bit, but I have noticed since the start of this series, we all always knew that there's a Speyside feel. It's a matter of fact. I'm going to suggest that Speyside is probably the region in Scotland that has held on to its feel more so than any of the rest of them, because the lines have certainly blurred across the rest of the regions. Highland could be anything now. Lowland really be anything. Speyside, which used to be all about the smoky whiskies, you know what I'm saying anyway. But Speyside, I have found, even doing this series, there's still a huge vein of this floral, sweet, honeysuckle, barley sugar. And Cragganmore 12-year-old is no different. The Diageo one, 40%, chill filtered, colour added. It's almost what we expect. So, we write it off then, don't we? We just take another box and say it's another Speyside. Well, I'm going to say no. Because, well, let's get it. Cragganmore. Now, this is not a... If you're new to whiskey, be very careful about picking your flights and things like that. Cragganmore 12-year-old is not a whiskey I'm going to suggest to come in the middle of a flight of hefty whiskies. Cragganmore 12 is a whiskey to start a whiskey flight. Why? It's buttery, sugary, light, delicate. It's an entree whiskey. It really is. However, let's get in and do some proper notes here and see where we're getting. Yeah. Light, fruity, almost delicate. Cheesecake, fruity dessert, like creamy cream cheese. I said it was an entree and I'm starting to sound like it's a pudding, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, pretty much as a pudding in a glass. It's creamy and bright. The fruity notes are delicate but lovely. I'm going to suggest that this is no simple Speysider. Cragganmore 12 for me is a benchmark Speysider. It's one of those that I would go as far as to say now, somebody asked me, describe Speyside, pick a Speyside whiskey that sort of envelops Speyside and says that sort of nails it. Cragganmore 12-year-old is a good example of that. I'm not going to say it's the only one. I'm not going to say it's the one. We might find out later what I think is the one. But it's certainly a good example of it. Honey, yes, floral. Barley sugar, shortbread. Light and beautifully fruity. What's not to like? It's pretty much everything. As I said, summed up, put in a glass, biscuity notes. It is like a delicate cheesecake. It's something like that. Here's where it steps up. That palate is much fuller than the nose would suggest. Thick. Dirty. Sweet and sour arrival. Dirty. This is a distillery still using worm tubs. And that low, slow condensing adds that extra layer to any whiskey, in my opinion. Even bottled at 40%. I would suggest that probably, yes, Cragganmore could have probably wouldn't have needed to go much further than 43% to give this a big, to make it feel like a 46er. Because even at 40%, Just that filthiness, that dirt that the worm tub condensing brings, ramps this up and gives it another level. Fresh orange, hints of grapefruit, honey once again, barley sugar once again. Just a bloody good example of Speyside whiskey. Once again, a shame that most of what Cragganmore is making is for blend purposes, to go to the Johnny Walkers of this world, etc. I like this. I do. It's an easy going whiskey, but still got enough going on to talk about. Even the finish runs out into a lovely digestive biscuit, oatcake, that sort of cereal note, but with layers of honey and honeysuckle and just, it's just inoffensive. I know it's a word I use an awful lot around Speyside, but at around 40 to 45 pounds, it's still a good whiskey. This is the sort of whiskey that, to me, for 40 to 45 pounds, would be a good purchase for anybody getting somebody into whiskey, or somebody. So there's a good way to describe this, actually. This is a good beginner, intermediate, and enthusiast, shall we say, whiskey. I would definitely suggest that anybody on their whiskey journey could enjoy this. Now, I know there are those of you out there who are a bit steered one way or the other where your whiskies are concerned. In that, you know, you do maybe prefer your peated whiskey, or you prefer your oily or Campbelltown whiskies, or maybe you prefer your Irish whiskey or whatever. This, to me, would not offend. It really would not offend, but it's good enough. I would be more than happy if somebody sent me this down as in a glass. I would be more than happy. The brighter fruitier notes, drop of water, brighter fruitier notes turn up a bit. Yeah, they do. The orange note, it's less delicate cereal on the nose now, and more about the fruit. But fruit, honey, lemon, yep. Still nice. It's pleasing. It is pleasing to the nose. It's also very pleasing to the palate. Delicate, soft, honey, cereal, all those notes. I'll just repeat them over and over and over again, but with that extra layer of just dirtiness. It's not clean. If this was crisp and clean and sweet and honey, yeah, okay, but it's not. It's dirtier than that. And it's to its benefit. It's very much to its benefit. The finish with a drop of water just fades out gently. Lovely, lovely. I really like this. So we'll just leave it at that and move on. Would I replace it? Yeah, I will replace it. This is the term that they're starting to use an awful lot. Permashelf. This is a permashelf whiskey. In that, if you decided, I would nearly go, right, well, actually, I'll pause there. I'll pause and say, what would I suggest as an alternative? And I'm embarrassed almost to say that I don't have this in my cabinet currently, because this is yet again, and maybe the Speysider that I would say is a benchmark Speysider. It's this, the Weeellllll 13-year-old. This is, once again, worm tub condensing, 13 years, 46%, non-chill filtered, no colour added. This is proper. The reason I don't have one of them in my cabinet currently is the last time I finished the bottle, just never got around to replacing it. What I did replace it with was a James Eady independent bottling, believe it or not, of Cragganmore 13. I cheaped out and got it for less than the official bottling. And you know, it doesn't even come close. It's a great example of indie bottling not matching up to the quality of the official bottling. It's just one example, yes, but it definitely is. Cragganmore 13 is a belter all day long, and I would have to say that Cragganmore 13 is, yes, it's better than Cragganmore 12-year-old. It is, of course it is. It's also about 15, maybe, well, I'm going to say about £15 more expensive than the Cragganmore 12-year-old. However, it's worth every penny of that, £15. But I'm just going to say that's, yes, it would be my benchmark Speyside. If you were expecting one or asking for one bottle for each region that sums up that region best, I would say Cragganmore 13. However, if you're on a budget and you want something that punches above its weight, I'm going to suggest Cragganmore 12-year-old. There. Let's slide off the Cragganmore 13 there. And yeah, Cragganmore 12-year-old punches above its weight. And I'm convinced, once again, it's that worm tub condensing. I said it a few reviews back about the Glenkinchie 12-year-old. It's the same. Worm tubs, people. It definitely does improve the spirit. In my opinion, would I replace this? Yes. So, I'll leave it at that. I'll say thank you very much for joining me. As always, it's always a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much to my patrons. Should anyone wish to join that group, the details are in the video description below. I'll be back next time with another 12-year-old Scottish single malt. Until then, look after yourselves. Here's to your good health. Cheers.
Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.